Hello, Catholic Nacogdoches. So I just wanted to create a little video to explain something that we're doing slightly different this year with the pastoral councils. So a pastoral council or a parish council is a group of the faithful who come together and who represent the parishioners as a whole to give counsel, to give advice, or to let the pastor know what's going on. And previously what we've done is we've had different councils for every single location in Catholic Nacogdoches. And in a certain sense, we're going to be keeping that. However, we're also going to, in a sense, unite all of the councils together so that we can think about how to move the Catholic Church forward, how to grow Catholicism in Nacogdoches as a whole. You know, we're really part of the universal church, and so separating and thinking in the individual locations is not the healthiest thing when that's the only way that we're thinking. And so what I'm doing is we'll be recreating our pastoral councils and making them a little bit smaller so that all of the leaders of the parish can come together into one meeting, and we can have a productive meeting that doesn't have 40 people in it, to really talk about the issues that face Catholicism in Nacogdoches as a whole. How it'll work is each location will nominate and vote for a number of people, and the larger locations will have a larger representation and the smaller places will have a smaller representation, but I'm going to try and make it as equitable as possible so that each place really does have a say in this meeting. The meetings will happen 4 times a year. There'll be quarterly where we get together with everybody, and then in between there, if we need to have conversations that really just apply to a particular location, we can also have meetings with just the representatives from that location to talk about and deal with problems there. If you're sitting and thinking to yourself, what in the world is a pastoral council? What does the pastoral council actually do? That's a great question. There's actually a little bit of a difficulty in the Catholic Church in which, there's some confusion that can come up with that. What happens in a lot of Protestant churches is that there's a kind of council of elders, they'll maybe call it, or a board, or something of that sort that really kind of runs the parish, and they hire and fire the pastor, and they make the decisions on buildings and things of that sort. That is not what the pastoral council is in the Catholic Church. For better or for worse, in the Catholic Church, the pastor is the one that ends up making all of the decisions. Ultimately, he's the one that has the final responsibility. If it's a good pastor, hopefully he really listens to other people and he seeks out a lot of counsel and doesn't go completely against the will of the people. But this council is there specifically to point out problems, so they can say, hey, you know what, Father, we've got these problems and we think they need to be dealt with, and then also to point out opportunities. So, hey, Father, these are certain opportunities that we think the Catholic Church has in our area, and we need to seize them. And then they can also be a kind of think tank for the solution. So how is it that we solve those problems, or how can we take advantage of those opportunities? And so the people that we want on the pastoral council are those kinds of people that, first off, are able to communicate with a lot of different people so that they can bring lots of ideas to the table, but also the kind of people that are constantly seeking ways to find solutions, that are willing to be creative and to overcome difficulties, as opposed to just kind of sit and remain where we've always been. The Catholic Church is a living organism, and so we need to be moving forward. We need to be growing. We need to be active in our community, or else we just start looking a lot more like a dead organism, which is absolutely not what we are. Another question that people have had is, what's the real point in bringing everybody together? And the answer to that is that, we really, as a Catholic Church, have to be able to work together. The Catholic Church is a universal church. we're meant to be part of this bigger thing. However, we as human beings, we really only think at the level that we can see. People don't really think about things that they haven't seen. Even our imagination is a kind of creating of things by composing or putting together other things that we have experienced. And so part of the reason of having this pastoral council all come together and all of the churches together is so that we can get the leaders of Catholic Nacogdoches to think at that level, and to really see at that level, because at that when they see at that level of all of Nacogdoches, then they can begin to understand all of the problems and all of the different locations and how the different things work together. And it's establishing, first off, that common knowledge among the leaders, but then also the relationships between the people that allow us to really build a healthy Catholic community, one that isn't divided between the different churches, but that recognizes itself that, okay, you know what, perhaps this is my parish home, this is where I worship, this is where I receive the sacraments, this is where I receive catechesis, but I am part of something greater than just my parish. I am part of the Catholic Church. And the Catholic Church, when it works in society and when it transforms an entire town into a truly Christ-centered and Catholic town, well, when we're doing that, we work all together as Catholics. And so my hope with this is that we'll be able to build those relationships and kind of create that gelling between the different parishes that doesn't destroy the identity of the parishes, but rather allows the proper human relationships to develop between people so that we can accomplish great things here in Catholic Nacogdoches. And so thanks for watching this video. Hopefully this answers your questions. If you do have any other questions about what's going on, feel free to shoot me an email or give me a call. I am happy to explain the whole thought process behind this and how it's going to work. Thanks. God bless.